Welcome back to CBS Eye on Health. When Julie Kessler experienced worsening pain and other symptoms, her doctor told her she was a hypochondriac. But she knew her symptoms were real and refused to give up. And that's when she found the AHN Celiac Disease Center, a team of specialists who understood her symptoms and how to treat them. So, doctor, when we left off, we were talking about the specialists that are there at the center. Who's on staff and how best are you supporting and helping patients like Julie?
We typically have 4 pillars in the celiac center. We've got the gastroenterologist, which happens to be myself. We have a nutritionist, a dietitian, and we have a psychologist, a clinical psychologist who works with us, or a behavioral therapist for that matter. And each one of us has to tackle the disease from their different aspect, from what they can actually offer the patient in very particular ways. From a clinical psychologist standpoint, we offer them support for such a major change in their lifestyle, because when we change somebody's diet to a gluten-free diet, it's a little challenging because you have to think about all the holiday dinners that you cannot go to or cannot participate in, where you can eat out, and especially if you're a traveler and you're on the road, it's very hard to find gluten-free food on your ways to different places. If you think about what the dietitian offers, it's pretty much the nitty-gritty details of the daily cooking, what foods to avoid, what items to buy, where to shop, what cosmetics to use, what certain products that you're allowed or not allowed to use that could technically affect your disease.
Even cosmetics?
Even cosmetics.
Wow.
You'd think about the lipstick that women use, and they actually a lot of the lipstick is being ingested, and that kind of affects the disease itself as well. So there are certain brands that they typically talk to you about, and they do give you a very realistic view of things, of how you can manage your day-to-day life. So it's not about, you know, watch out what you're eating. No, they tell you which brands, what things you can actually use. As far as the nutritionist, the medical nutritionist who works with us, Dr. Vasquez, we typically work hand in hand, me and him. He addresses the weight gain that can usually be associated with going on a gluten-free diet, because typically people who go on a gluten-free diet and they have celiac disease, their intestines heal, and that means that they absorb nutrition better. For the same amount of food that they eat, they tend to gain more weight. So managing weight is an important issue. Managing specific vitamin losses that are essential to your body is also essential.
And when you change the diet and you begin to eat gluten-free, you're not necessarily taking any medication. The body begins to heal itself.
Correct. It's just a matter of avoiding the trigger that promotes that inflammation. That inflammation is inherent, and that's where I come into play in the celiac center, where I explain the disease process to my patients. The treatment, as I said, is fairly simple. It's just go on a gluten-free diet, but understanding how that diet affects your body is really critical.
So for Julie, this had to be some major change, albeit a welcome change, but major in some ways. How did you transition through this?
You know, when I left that first appointment, I came home with a folder packed with information from all of these specialists and everything like that. And you know, I went home and I threw out the bag of flour, and there was even information on there about how you need to replace your wooden spoons. Like, we just donated a whole bunch of stuff because it would have flour residue on it. Even our colander, you would have gluten that's always stuck to your colander. We still do have gluten in our house. However, none of it is in the kitchen. Our entire kitchen is gluten-free, and all of, like, my son has his regular bread and his toaster for regular toast and things like that. It's all kept in a different room. But yeah, you know, I learned everything, you know, all that knowledge that I got from the Celiac Center is just power to take care of your health.
Well, speaking of your children, you ended up having them tested. Why?
Dr. Abdelbaki explained to me that all first-degree relatives need to be tested for the disease. So all 3 of my children, he told me exactly which test they needed for celiac disease screening, and then also which test they needed to find out if they had the gene. So all 3 of my children have the gene, And at the time, only my youngest was found to have celiac disease. She was 5 at the time. In the older two, since they do have the celiac disease gene, they'll need to be retested with the celiac disease screening every few years.
Yeah, and when, of course, you told her to let her children know about this and then bring them in, have they also had to undergo any additional support or counseling or assistance at the center?
My youngest child, she goes to a pediatric gastroenterologist, and he treats her there.
We welcome any patient who would like to get information or learn more about their disease. We typically follow patients on our own, and we also follow them along with their local gastroenterologist, because we see a lot of referrals from different locations that may be hard for them to travel to come and see us all the time. So we always communicate with their local gastroenterologist, and we welcome all patients who are willing to see us. If someone has seen us and needs specific follow-up by a particular subspecialist, be it the clinical psychologist or the nutritionist, then they can follow them in their own clinic at their own separate time. So it's not necessarily that they have to be committed to the entire team every single time.
What would you say to patients watching, or I shouldn't say patients, people watching who might have some of these symptoms and may unfortunately have undergone or are undergoing the same experience that Julie had?
Don't underestimate the validity of your symptoms. If you have symptoms and if you have concerns, talk to a specialist. Talk to a specialist that you feel comfortable with or you trust to do the right thing. And if you feel that your symptoms are well explained and you feel comfortable with that explanation, then that makes sense and you can follow through. But if you don't get a proper explanation, or if your specialist is not comfortable with the diagnosis of celiac disease, you're welcome to, come and see us. We're happy to, give you advice and help you, feel better.
Yeah. And any final words that you might offer to someone?
Yeah, well, I mean, in conversations that I have with people, a lot of times they bring up celiac disease because they're curious. There's people that I know that know that gluten bothers them, and then there's people that I know that also have celiac disease, and a lot of them have questions. And I just, I wish that they would all, be intentional about taking care of your health. If you feel like you have symptoms but you haven't been tested, you need to get tested. Our bodies are our bodies are resilient and amazing, but they're also very fragile and temporary, and you need to do what you need to do to take care of your health.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much for being here. Doctor, thank you so much for being here as well. We certainly appreciate that. And we want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on CBS Eye on Health.
The preceding program was sponsored by Allegheny Health Network.